So in December 19, we saw a continuation of many of the trends that we've seen throughout the rest of the year. That is consumers buying a lot of light trucks and fewer cars. We also saw, again, more light trucks. Crossovers are now 40.8% of the market. That was the most popular segment by far. And I expect that next year, by the end of 2020, we're going to be at a 75% light truck share versus a 25% car share, whereas right now we're at a 72% to 28% light truck to car. So consumers are going to continue that shift. But the year ended strong. We saw sales of 17.1 million units for the year, our fifth straight year of over 17 million units sold. So a really solid year for the industry as a whole. The other trends we saw, elevated incentive spending. In November, it was over $4,500 per copy. Early forecasts of incentives in December were closer to $4,600, which, if it hits that, would be another new record. Beyond that, other big trends out there, more consumers are choosing used vehicles because we have had steady leasing in the past few years. Vehicle affordability is becoming a challenge for many consumers out there. New cars are simply getting too expensive, so consumers, even those with great credit or the ability to buy new, may instead choose a used vehicle. For dealers, I do expect it's going to be another great year because used vehicle sales are very profitable for dealers, and they're also going to continue to see growth in their service and parts business. For 2019, though, the dealership space, I expect sales are going to come in for the average dealership a little bit over $61 million. I think they're going to be up slightly. And when we sum that up across all of the nation's franchised light vehicle dealerships, I believe sales are going to top $1 trillion for, I believe, the third year in a row. So, it's going to be a great year for dealers once we see the final data from 2019. And I don't expect anything different in 2020 for our NADA's franchised light vehicle dealers. So we're going to continue to see GDP growth slowing. It's slowed a little bit this year from the 2.9% in 2018. I'm expecting 2.3% GDP growth for the year in 2019 by the time the final numbers come out. We're going to see some weakness probably in the first quarter of 2020, especially because of the halting of the Boeing 737 MAX. That could eat up as much as a 0.5% of GDP growth in the first quarter. Employment looks good. There are still more job openings out there than there are unemployed workers. We saw steady job gains in November and likely in December once we see the final report from December. Unemployment's low, so we expect that wages are going to continue to grow. Consumers are going to continue to spend money. Consumers have really had to carry the weight here because of weakness in business investment due to uncertainty with tariffs, the ratification of USMCA. But the good news is it does seem like UMCA is going to be ratified, and we're going to have more certainty for the auto industry specifically. So USMCA, will likely be in the long term, a net benefit for the country. Beyond that, we also got a third interest rate cut this year, and the Fed has signaled that it's likely to keep rates steady throughout all of 2020. This is going to be good for consumers out there trying to access credit, and again, good for dealers who are struggling with high floor plan costs. Right now, consumers are feeling confident in the economy. Interest rates are low. Unemployment is low. There's really just going to be, the real wild cards here are business investment and maybe some potential slowdowns in the global economy. But in the U.S. economy, things look really good. And I'm confident that we're going to have another solid year in 2020.